Hi folks, welcome to week number 11 of Interpersonal Communications Online for fall of 2013. During week number 11, which runs November 4th through November 10th, we are going to be focusing on chapter 10, which is relational deterioration and termination. So kind of that flip side to what we did last week in chapter 9, which was all about looking at NAP stages as we go through relationship initiation and how they develop. Now we're kind of on the other side of that coin. So what happens when relationships deteriorate? So really some good, interesting reading here. You will see some interesting scholars that are discussed. So do take your time with this one. And I just want to encourage you too, even if you're not in a romantic relationship right now, this, a lot of these relationship theories can be applied to our friendship relationships as well. So there is kind of multiple ways that we can look at these ideas that are presented in chapters 9 and 10. And I think chapter 10 is an especially important chapter in that our culture does not really talk a whole lot or emphasize a whole lot, the deterioration of relationships. There's a lot of movies, there's a lot out in media about, falling in love and what that looks like and all of that. But we don't see as much on the other side. And I think that we don't do as much as we could in helping people understand how relationships, how they deteriorate. So I think this is a good chapter to really kind of spend some time and really be thoughtful as you're going through it. Again, just remember as you're doing each chapter to make sure that you are at the minimum completing the vocabulary worksheets, making sure you're writing in all the definitions and page numbers, simply because they're wonderful help as you're taking quizzes, but they're also great as you're doing your discussion postings and your papers, because then you have the concepts right in front of you with definitions, with page numbers. So it just makes the writing process so much easier. I would also encourage you, if you're not getting the quiz results that you would like, to make sure that you're also not only doing the vocabulary, but that you're also using those PowerPoint slides, printing them out, and then using them to do your handwritten notes as well for each chapter. Okay, so as we look ahead as far as assignments that are due this week, discussion posting number 4 and 2 responses to classmates are due on Wednesday, November 6th by 11:59. Remember, folks, that in order to earn points for discussion postings, you have to post, before that deadline of November 6th by 11:59. It's almost similar to a face-to-face class where you can't come in after the class is over and say, okay, I'd like to be part of this discussion. The discussion has already happened and you have to be present during that discussion period. So do make sure that you work ahead on those and get those postings in on time so that you earn full points for them. The discussions really do kind of add up. Students don't think about those discussion postings as really making a big difference. They're only 10 points each, but they do kind of add up. They're a total of 40 points out of 306. So they are a big chunk of your grade. Also due this week is quiz number 10. This needs to be completed by Friday, November 8th at 11:59. And again, if you're not doing as well on your quizzes, please do make sure that you do not only the vocabulary, but also those PowerPoint slides too. Just a quick note as well, remember if you go over the 20-minute time limit for quizzes, your quiz will receive a score of 0. And folks, I promise I'm not trying to be mean or nasty. I'm just trying to be fair to everyone in the class. If I tell one student you only have 20 minutes to complete the quiz, but I allow another student to submit a quiz that's at 25 minutes, that's not fair to that first student. That first student who stayed under the 20 minutes maybe would have gotten a better score on the quiz if they had been allowed the 25 points. So again, I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just really trying to be fair and honor those posted time limits. So do make sure that you watch the clock really carefully while you're quizzing. And again, that's why it's really helpful to have those worksheets in front of you and those PowerPoint notes in front of you, because if you have to look up a question, you have the information right in front of you. So do please make sure that you're watching your time carefully. Okay, the other thing that I just really quickly want to do is just to talk about your discussion posting number 4 that is due on Wednesday. Discussion posting number 4 asks that you go out, and it's about relationship deterioration. So you're going to go out and you're going to watch 2 breakup scenes, and I have the hot links on for both of those in the discussion area. I do have a little note here that says, please be careful when playing these clips with children around. There is profanity in both the Good Will Hunting clip and the Sex and the City clip. And again, remember that when you are answering, the questions I'm asking is, what is similar about these breakups and how are they different? As you're watching these two, make sure that you're applying text concepts. It's really easy just to kind of give what I would say is, an uninformed response to these, but I'm really looking for you to pull in those text concepts. Is this a unilateral breakup? Is it a bilateral breakup? Is it, sudden death? What is it? So that you kind of can pull in all of those really good concepts from this chapter. So do make sure that, and you don't, the Good Will Hunting is just a clip of the movie. Sex and the City is just a clip of from one of the episodes. You don't need a whole lot of background, and don't feel like you have to do a lot of research to kind of get up to speed with what the movie is about, or what the Sex and the City series is about. Just go ahead and write your response based on what you're seeing in these clips. And again, I'm looking for you to answer 2 questions. So make sure as you're writing your responses that you do talk about what is similar about these breakups and how are they different. So there should be 2 kind of main sections to your writing. You also could pull in chapter 11. If you notice up on top, I do have that the related readings are chapter 10 or 11. There are some information, there's some concepts from chapter 11 on conflict that certainly could be applied in your analysis of similarities and differences too. So feel free to pull those in as well. Okay, folks, so that brings us back to the schedule. Just a quick reminder, here we are, week number 11. Chapter 10 is what we are reading and studying over this week. Discussion posting number 4 and 2 responses to classmates are due by Wednesday. Quiz number 10 needs to be completed by Friday at 11:59. I hope you all are clicking right along. We are getting close down to the last 4 or 5 weeks of class. So please keep doing your best work. And if you have any questions, please do let me know and send me an email. Thanks, folks.